It is 10:15 here on this Monday morning, and it's time for Don't Have a Meltdown Monday. We want to offer up some guidance to get through the ups and downs of life. And today we're focusing on adolescents and the crises they might deal with that could go undetected and cause them harm in the future. How do you get ahead of it? How do you understand exactly how to deal with it? Erica Komisar is a licensed clinical social worker and a psychoanalyst. She's a parenting expert, and I love the title of her book, Chicken Little, The Sky Isn't Falling, which I think is so appropriate, Erica, when it comes to setting our children up to deal with some of the anxieties of life. Is it true that we sometimes underestimate that children are dealing with heavy bouts of anxiety and concern that go unverbalized?
Well, the statistics are that, first of all, thank you for having me on. The statistics are that 30% of our kids and adolescents are suffering from anxiety, and those are only the reported cases. So that means there's much more than is actually reported.
Do you think that there are more triggers now and that social circumstances have changed in such a way that more children are actually suffering from anxiety, or are we just more aware that anxiety is part of childhood?
Well, adolescence and childhood has always been a difficult time, particularly adolescence, which is 9 to 25, which is what my current book is about. There are so many things going on in adolescence: puberty, shifting social scenes, identity formation, separating from parents. But today it's even harder. More competition, more choices. It's just a global warming crisis, more virtual friends than real ones in child and adolescent now.
Yeah, and I also feel like I'm trying to remember, because as a kid I dealt with anxiety. I'd get on the bus in the morning and have those butterflies in the stomach and didn't know what that was, but I'd feel sort of nauseous, and I didn't share it with anyone. Felt like an outsider, but I dealt with kids at school who would bring attention to my differences, and I wonder what that would have been like for me if I was also plugged into social media. If I was also coming home and was inundated with cable television 24/7, people yelling at each other and images of horrible things happening around the globe, which back then seemed to be exclusive to that half hour of nightly news. So I'm wondering, at its core, the anxiety that I had could have been exacerbated, or it could have been triggered more often throughout the day if I'd had all of these other means around me. Is that a fair assessment?
So the paradox is kids today are overly connected and not connected enough. And what do I mean by that? There's more stimulation, and as you say, there's more sort of awareness of what's going on in the world because of social media and media overall. But there's less contact with parents. Parents are more unavailable. They're more distracted. There's more two-parent working families who have to work for financial reasons. And so kids have less of their parents to help to regulate their emotions, and more of the scary things that mean they need more contact with their parents.
Okay, so this all sounds kind of hopeless, and I know it's not, because when you talk about increased anxiety and triggers for kids, and we call on parents to help and understand it, they're also busier than they were when I was brought up. They're more wired and plugged in 24 hours a day to their jobs and their email and their social media. So how do we bring parents to a place where they can recognize it, understand it, and address it, and help their children thrive and deal with their anxiety?
Well, that's why I wrote this book. It's a comprehensive mental health guide for parents, so as you say, so they can prevent mental health issues, so they can identify them when they happen and know what to do about them. But mostly it's a book that helps parents to parent. I think that it's confusing. There's a lot of misunderstandings and misinterpretations of what adolescents need. What they need more than anything, if you take away one thing from the book, is they need as much of our physical and emotional presence as possible to continue to regulate their emotions. So what's happening in adolescence is that their emotions are very dysregulated for a variety of reasons, including their brain development. and they need more of our presence and their knowledge to help us to regulate their emotions.
And we should note here that teachers carry some of this as well. Teachers, right, by their very nature, the best among them, are also guiding children through some of these difficult times and sharing that burden with parents. I have to say, is it sometimes, one last question, is it sometimes a matter of quality of time, not quantity of time? In other words, if you set out every night for 1 hour, we're going to have dinner together, we're going to put our phones away, we're going to have real conversations. Could it be as simple as one step, that one thing, for some families?
What I say in the book is quality of time matters, but quantity matters too. And what I mean by that is when the door opens, both literally and figuratively, you need to be there as much as possible because their defenses are down and they're able to communicate with you in that moment about their feelings and their experiences. When the door closes, you have to wait for the door to open again. So unfortunately, it doesn't work in the way that parents can do it on their time. It has to be on adolescents' time. So the more you're there, the more you're there when the door opens and they're vulnerable and they're communicating about how they're feeling.
Well, what I like about your book is I think even parents who are doing what they think is their very best might be enlightened in a way that inspires them to do a little more. And they may recognize that there's more that they can do. And it's not that they're not doing a good job, it's that they just need a little guidance because this is uncharted territory in some ways. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it, Erica.
Thank you for having me.
You bet, and you can check out Erica's book. There it is, Chicken Little, The Sky Isn't Falling. It's ericacomisar.com. That's KOMISAR.com. She's also Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of it is there. And I do wonder, Yolanda, when it comes to, what I dealt with as a kid, if I'd come home and continued to be inundated with harassment via Facebook Messenger or Facebook posts or seeing that I was being left out of social events because kids were posting stuff on Facebook, it would have been an even worse experience.
Absolutely. I couldn't imagine growing up
growing up today with all of that.
I mean, really, that's a lot for a kid.
It really is. And again, parents, to just wrap your head around it, this book is a really good starting point and a good guide.